right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Halloween show live. This is episode 46, and we are live tonight. Happy Friday, everybody. If you're new here, this is the Halloween show. This is basically our weekly roundup of all the top stories that we're covering right now at HalloweenDailyNews.com. And there's quite a bit going on this week, as you might imagine. Our normal format is that we'll run through the week's headlines and kind of brief bullet point video reports, and then we'll spend a few extra minutes on the week's main story. This week we're going to kind of follow that format, but we are going to break it up a little bit more, obviously, because we're live. And the great benefit there is that we get to interact a little bit more and have more of a conversation about some of these stories, and I can get some immediate feedback from some of you guys. So, welcome if you've never been here before. Thank you for being here. And to some of my returning friends who I already see up in the live chat, I see Ken is here and David Suber. And to all my Michael Myers Monday live friends that join me every Monday when we do our weekly live stream where it focuses only on Michael Myers and the Halloween movie franchise. What's up, guys? We will be doing that live stream this Monday, but there is, of course, some Michael Myers Halloween Kills news that we're going to talk about a little bit on tonight's show. And there's just a ton of other stuff going on this week as well. Just all kinds of Halloween news. I mean, really, 'tis the season, right? And that's another reason why we're doing these shows live. We did a live episode last Friday. We're doing it this Friday. Next week's going to be live from Mad Monster Expo. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later as well. And yeah, going forward over the next few months, I mean, this is truly our time. This is our season, and there's a lot to go on, a lot going on, and a lot to discuss. So you will be seeing more of these episodes recorded live and presented in this way. Don't know how many viewers we'll necessarily get tonight. Just, announced this live stream late last night. So, but as people find their way in, hopefully they'll enjoy what they see and will stick around. Like I said, we've got a lot of fun stuff, a lot of interesting stories to get to tonight. And there's still going to be some pre-recorded segments, just like normal. I'll cut to what I call the video reports, and we'll run through them. And then I'll come back. Instead of running through the headlines one by, all in a row, like our normal show, we will kind of come back after each headline, and I'll talk a little bit about it and mainly get some feedback from you guys, because that's kind of the big advantage of doing this live. So we will go through the headlines, we will do the video reports, we'll come back on here, we'll have a short little 5 or 10 minute discussion of each of those, and then we'll get to our main story, of which there are a couple this week, because again, it's a big week, lots to dig into. So welcome, guys. Let's see, Protect Safes is here. Welcome. Halloween Returns, yes, that one. Steinbeck James is here. Love seeing those pumpkins. Awesome. Protect Safes says Mutiny by Evolve Intent. Look them up. It's a great Halloween tune theme mixed in. All right, cool. I'll have to check that out. I'll definitely have to check that out. Yes, happy Friday. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. Again, this is a little bit different than the Monday show. Not quite as late night, and I guess we're prime time right now, and we did this last week, and it went great, actually. And again, if you missed last week's show, I urge you to check that one out. We did a breakdown of the new Bad Candy trailer. If you don't know about Bad Candy, it's a Halloween horror movie. It's coming out in just a few weeks. We're super stoked for it. Check out last week's episode if you missed it and you don't know anything about that film, or if you do know about that film and you missed it. We were actually lucky enough to have the production designer and creature performer from the film, Jason Thompson, dropped in to the live chat last week and actually helped me break down that awesome trailer. And it was a great experience, and we got all kinds of added commentary and just insight straight from the set, straight from somebody that was there about that trailer. So that was a lot of fun. And I said last week, we might be doing more of these Friday shows live as well, in addition to the Monday lives. So here we are once again. And again, it actually saves a few steps. Otherwise, I would have last night Then up till 4 a.m., I'm editing all this together into one pre-recorded show, which is the usual format. But this time of year, like I said, there's just too much to get to, and it's so exciting. As long as I'm here and am able and have the time, I want to commune with you guys. I want to discuss this stuff like we do on Mondays about the Halloween franchise. So that's where we're at right now. Oh, Keith, mad he didn't get his shout out. There's your shout out, buddy. You got one. Welcome. All right. Speaking of the Halloween franchise, and again, Monday's where I'll really dig into these stories even more. But there is some pretty big news, including some significant reveals, merch reveals. We're talking about Halloween Kills, the ultimate 7-inch Michael Myers figure from NECA was officially revealed this week. We knew it was coming. It was unofficially announced a while back. And, it was announced officially, but unofficially revealed. And we finally got just a ton of photos on their website. And we published a few of them on our site as well. And we also got the full official reveals of all 6 designs from Fright Rags. And I talked about those designs a little more in depth on this past Monday's live stream. And I'm sure we'll talk about them again this Monday. And then there was even more Halloween Kills news, as if that's not enough. Just today, just a few hours ago, a brand new image from the film has surfaced via USA Today and their fall movie preview. So we're going to hit on all those stories right now to kick off the show, and this will be our Michael Myers Halloween Kills portion of tonight's episode. And so, like I said, right now I'm going to run my video reports on NECA and Fright Rags, and then we'll come back, we'll talk about them, and then we'll talk about this new image briefly, and then we'll go on to the next story from there. So check it out. This is what we know so far about the NECA Halloween Kills Michael Myers Ultimate figure. NECA has officially unveiled their new Halloween Kills Michael Myers figure to be released this October. The officially licensed Halloween Kills Michael Myers collectible action figure joins NECA's 7-inch scale Ultimate line and will come with numerous cool accessories you can see here. Those include knives, a bat, a bulb, a silver shamrock skull mask, a Halligan bar, and interchangeable head and hands. And it'll all be presented in a collector-friendly window box packaging with opening front panel. It is currently anticipated to begin shipping this fall. Fright Rags has now fully unveiled all 6 new designs that make up their official Halloween Kills collection, which will be available on t-shirts and in some cases a hoodie and even a long sleeve. The 6 designs include the official movie poster, as well as this image of Michael engulfed in flames exiting Laurie's house that we've seen in the trailer. This is the flagship release with the film's tagline, "Evil Dies Tonight," a quote we've already heard a couple times mentioned in the trailer. And as you can see, the artwork features the Haddonfield residents trying to hunt down the boogeyman and hoping to put an end to Michael Myers. There's also a black, white, and orange tie-dye with the words "Let It Burn," and a long sleeve with Michael holding a butcher knife in one hand and a bloody silver shamrock skull mask in the other hand. And there's this very cool orange design with a great artistic look at the HK mask, the butcher knife, and of course, Laurie's house all ablaze. Pre-orders will begin on Wednesday, September 1st at 10 a.m. Eastern. At that time, you will be able to pre-order all 6 official Halloween Kills designs for 7 days only, including t-shirts, hoodies, baseball tees, and all of the rest. Once that pre-order period ends at 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday, September 7th, the collection will be taken down and Fright Rags will print and ship all of the pre-orders. The official collection will then release on October 5th. You can learn more at fright-rags.com. That's right, guys. So we finally got a really good look. Let's start with the NECA figure. Again, we kind of talked about the Fright Rags on Monday. We could talk about them briefly again, but let's start off with that NECA figure. Finally getting some really good quality images released on the NECA website and on their socials this week. That was just a few of them that I showed in that video. You can see more at NECAonline.com or at HalloweenDailyNews.com. But what do you guys think about this figure? It looks great. You know, the Ultimate line, personally, if any of you that watch our Mondays or know anything about me know that I am a action figure guy. I love collecting the action figures, and I love NECA as a brand, and their Ultimate line is my personal favorite of all their lines that they've put out. I got the Ultimate 2018 and the Ultimate Lori 2018 as well, and I definitely plan to be purchasing this Halloween Kills Myers figure to add to my own personal collection. I think it looks great, but what do you guys think? Ken said, Wicked, can't wait. Says the shirts are off the hook. Yeah, the shirts are really great. And he's asking if Fright Rags have them beyond 2K. Yes, I do believe Fright Rags does carry some of those shirt designs in beyond 2K. Like 3K, I think so. David Suber says, nice, all of the merch. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with any of it. I mean, those t-shirts designs are really great. Again, though, looking at that figure, because this is our first look, and we'll dig into some of these images even more significantly, but you see that cover image I chose, because I think that's pretty significant. It comes with the Silver Shamrock skull mask. We saw it in the trailer. We saw it in the 2018 film. And there's a good look at all those accessories. Some of which we've seen. All of which I think we've got glimpses of in the trailer. And most interestingly, though, the one accessory, of course, that's not pictured here that I am still a little unclear about. They do say that it comes with interchangeable heads, and you see here there is an alternate head included, and I just don't know from this image or from any of their info that's been released yet exactly what the difference in the heads and the Michael masks is. So that's curious. I mean, I would assume that one is more damaged than the other, but nothing has really made that clear. Of course, he's got the missing fingers on the left hand. They're bandaged up now. I guess he took a minute to bandage himself up. Yeah, David Suber says, Tommy's bat. Yes, that was something else that kind of notable. We know that bat is been seen in the trailer. Anthony Michael Hall's character, Tommy Doyle, is holding it. So again, and these figures are not an arm and a leg either. They're not, $50 or $100. I think they're what do the Ultimates usually cost, guys? About like $24, $25, I think. I mean, they carry them in Targets now and Walmart. It's pretty awesome. How about the t-shirts? We talked about these briefly the other night during Michael Myers Monday Live, when the designs were first revealed. Now we've got even better images of them. And yeah, I mean, there's that cool retro orange design. I mean, I love the artistic look of the mask in some of these. I said Monday night, I'm going to have to get that movie poster one. I own the 2018 movie poster t-shirt from Fright Rags. There's that already iconic scene of Michael exiting the house We've got this is the flagship one. This is the other one that if I had to choose today, I think I'm probably going to have to pre-order that one. And again, these go up for pre-order next week, 7 days only. And then there's some of those other designs. Again, that Silver Shamrock skull mask featured. I mean, the fact that both of these reveals feature Michael holding that mask. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to speculate tonight on what might be happening or what's going to happen in that scene, but clearly that mask is going to play a little more of a role in the film than the cameo that it and the other Silver Shamrock masks had in 2018. And I do love this design with Haddonfield residents, the mob, if you will, coming from Michael. Even though, as I said Monday, Ben from Fright Rags did specify that they took a little bit of artistic license in this particular design, and it was approved. And there's not a person holding a torch quite like that in the actual movie. At least not the way it's depicted on here. That was a bit of an artistic license that they took and was approved by Universal because it does look damn cool. And it does kind of wink at the Frankenstein, the end of the Frankenstein story when the villagers with torches are hunting the monster down. $32.99, David says. All right, that's the price on the figure. Totally worth it. I mean, yeah, for $33, $35 once you add tax and everything, totally worth it if you ask me. Ken says he's seen a snippet of what Michael does with his hand before wrapping it up. Interesting. Very cool. All right. Also, like I said, we've got just a little bit of kind of breaking Halloween Kills news tonight, actually, just a few hours ago. A new article was published by USA Today, and it is their, what do they call it? Most anticipated movies of fall, basically. Their fall movie preview, and it, all the usual suspects are there that you would expect. There's your Dune and your 007 and all that stuff. And but of course, the our most anticipated of the year, Halloween Kills, is in there, of course, and they debuted this brand new image. Oh, there's Candyman. Now I lost the image here. Let's go back up. There we go. So there you go. That's Laurie and Karen, obviously, at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. Jamie Lee Curtis and Judy Greer there. Some concerned Haddonfield residents behind them, it looks like. Again, unclear exactly what's going on. Obviously, they're distressed. Somebody, I'm assuming maybe Ray is in there. Things aren't going too well for him. When last we saw him, he's dead. He's done. So I don't know. Maybe they were trying to revive him, or maybe Hawkins is in there, maybe, and they're trying to revive him. It's hard to say. And of course, Jamie Lee Curtis did tweet out, or actually post on Instagram, that it's actually the Fright Rags engulfed in flames image that we were looking at a minute ago, and she tweeted out today with the text 50 days until Halloween Kills, which is pretty crazy that we're really closing in on it now. I mean, yeah, it's crazy that Labor Day weekend is right around the corner. This is the last weekend of August, and the calendar may not say it's fall, but you guys know that means it is fall. I mean, every day is Halloween for us here at Halloween Daily News, of course, but now it's undisputed. After Labor Day, it's pretty much everybody considers that the unofficial beginning of fall. So here we go. And then the final bit this week of Halloween Kills news at this point is that, of course, I'm sure you heard, there was the presentation at CinemaCon by Universal Pictures, and Jamie Lee Curtis sent a video there mainly talking about the importance of theaters and the theater-going experience. That was the whole point of CinemaCon. It's for theater owners. So that was the big thing. But yes, Universal was there, and of course they were hyping Halloween Kills, one of their big theatrical releases of the year, arguably their biggest. And I guess F9 they would say is bigger, but for us it's the biggest clearly. And for them, I'd say even realistically, it's second biggest after F9, even for them. And they premiered a new trailer, which is not surprising. This is about the time you would expect the second trailer to be surfacing. So it hasn't been released online. Obviously, we'd be talking about that right now. But there are descriptions of what was in it online, and I'm not going to go over them right now. I think I'll dig into a little bit of that on Monday night and talk a little bit about what some of that might mean on Monday night. But yeah, the trailer's not online as of yet. When's it going to go online? I mean, the headline here is clearly that there is a second trailer. If you were doubting, I told you there'd be a second trailer. Of course, there's going to be. When's it going to debut? Now, are they going to just sit on this and not release it? Of course not. Of course they're not. And the reaction that it got online that I saw from journalists, accredited journalists that were there, yeah, it looks really good. Not surprising. The first trailer I thought looked really good, but this new one sounds really phenomenal. And so, yeah, it's going to be released online pretty much any day now. Probably not over the weekend. I wouldn't mind if they did it on Monday to celebrate Michael Myers Monday. But again, we can look back to 2018 as a bit of a reference. The second trailer for Halloween 2018 was released on September 5th of that year. That fell on a Wednesday that year, and that was actually the last Wednesday before Labor Day weekend that year. So, what does any of that mean? Well, the last Wednesday before Labor Day weekend this year is this coming Wednesday. That's actually September 1st this year. September 5th this year actually falls on, again, not on Michael Myers Monday. It falls on that Sunday. Unlikely day to release a trailer, but again, maybe next week, maybe on the Wednesday before Labor Day weekend, going in to the last big holiday before Halloween. That worked in 2018. It certainly makes sense for this year's marketing campaign. And then you also have to remember that we reported previously, if you remember, but they've got that world premiere event happening in Venice at the Venice Film Festival 1 week later. That's the following Wednesday, September 8th. And they're going to be honoring Jamie Lee Curtis with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And that's the official world premiere screening of Halloween Kills. That's when, I'm sure there's going to be review embargoes and you won't see full reviews posted. But there's going to be things that are going to come out. Probably even some spoiler things. So again, if you gotta avoid it, you're gonna just have to stay off social media for the next, until October 15th, pretty much. Unfortunately, some stuff will come out of that. But what will definitely come out of that will be the first reactions. Like we got reactions to that CinemaCon trailer just the other day. So what does all that mean? What Universal is going to do, who knows? But I think it's pretty clear and doesn't take a brain surgeon to see that, yeah, that trailer is coming within the next few days, probably this week, right before Labor Day weekend. Again, it makes perfect sense that they would do that. Plus, it's just going to build that hype for the following week's world premiere just a tiny bit more. And then after that, yeah, it's going to ride on the reactions from that, which they're hoping certainly that it's positive. I'm hoping it's positive as a fan. And then we've got October 1st, which is this year's Blumfest online event. And of course, last year's Blumfest is when they dropped first official footage from the film, the first teaser. So, that is clearly 2 weeks before the film opens. Yeah, that will have a major presence at that. That will be Blumhouse's showcase event there during Blumfest. You can bet David Gordon Green and Jamie Lee Curtis and probably Carpenter as well. They're all going to be involved in that. It'll probably be something similar to what it was last year, pre-recorded segments and stuff. And I would totally expect some new footage to drop that day. Probably a scene, maybe even a sizable scene, like 4 or 5 minutes. But I'd say we're going to get, a 2 or 3 minute scene dropped, or at very least a final trailer, maybe a red band trailer, and to really get everybody hyped up one last time. And so that's what I'm expecting to happen. And then there'll be some TV spots throughout the month of October as well. So that's looking like where the marketing's going. So the exciting thing there, to wrap up the HK conversation tonight on my end, is that we got that new trailer. It's definitely coming. It definitely exists. From what I've heard, it looks great. Got everybody even more hyped up for it. And yeah, I would expect that in the next few days, probably within the next week. And in any case, it's going to be very soon, if not within the next 7 days. So, hey, maybe they'll drop it on Monday and we can break it apart together that night. My luck, though, they will drop it on Wednesday, September 1st, the Wednesday before Labor Day weekend. And that's going to present a few challenges here because I'm probably going to be on the road most of that day, heading out to Charlotte for Mad Monster Expo. So whether or not I can jump on and do a live breakdown with you guys that night, we'll have to wait and see if it even happens that night. But just the way things go, the fact that I'm kind of not available to do a live that night, that's probably when it'll happen. But who knows? If that's the way it plays out, we might just jump on and do the live breakdown right there at the hotel. Because we're going to do some lives from the convention anyway. So let me get caught up on a couple comments, and then we're going to move on to the next headline of the week. David says, Mad Monster shirt. Yes, it is. This is from Mad Monster Party a few years ago when the great Malcolm McDowell was a guest, and I got to interview him there. Thanks you for noticing. Gotta plug Mad Monster. I'm going to be talking about that again at the end of the show. Can't wait to be there 1 week from tonight. David says, wonder if Brackett's going to fight Michael. Very well could be. Ken says, I read somewhere Jamie Lee Curtis said she's scared of Halloween Kills. This one shivering and shaken, and this is why you need to go see the movie. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Again, Monday night is for if you are at all a Myers fan or just starting to get hyped for Halloween Kills, you need to come join the party we do every Monday night, 10:31 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the HDN channel, and it's Michael Myers Monday Live. We will be doing it this coming Monday, and we'll be talking more in depth about all of this stuff, as well as some of the descriptions of the trailer. Again, we keep it spoiler free, and if I didn't say it before, I ask that we all keep it spoiler free here as well. But it's a great time, and we'll talk more in discussion on that. So I'll see you at Michael Myers Monday Live in a couple nights for that. Now, there has been a ton of other news, non-Myers related this week. All kinds of cool stuff to talk about. So we're going to get right into this first story. This was just announced, not even announced. The story broke a few days ago. Actually, I guess it was late last week. They broke the story that Marlon Wayans is going to produce and star in a new Halloween adventure comedy for Netflix. And this sounds like Netflix is hoping that this is going to be their next Hubie Halloween. If you remember, that Adam Sandler comedy premiered last year on Netflix and did really well. It became the most popular movie on Netflix in the U.S. for the year. So they're hoping for something similar with this. I think it does sound like a cool concept, and I do like the casting so far that we've learned about. So here's my video report on that, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about this upcoming Halloween project that we can look forward to for next year. Marlon Wayans is set to produce and star in a new Halloween comedy for Netflix. Deadline reported this week that the currently untitled Halloween film is an adventure comedy that will be directed by Jeff Wadlow, who most recently helmed Blumhouse's Truth or Dare, and also Fantasy Island. In addition to starring in the film, Marlon Wayans will serve as a producer. We've also learned that Stranger Things standout Priya Ferguson has joined the cast. She will play Wayans' daughter in the film. Ferguson plays Erica on the Netflix hit Stranger Things. The story follows a teenage girl, played by Ferguson, who accidentally unleashes an ancient, mischievous spirit on Halloween night, which causes decorations to come to life and wreak havoc. She must team up with the last person she'd want to in order to save their town, her skeptical father, played by Wayans. Ferguson is definitely dynamite on Stranger Things, and so this should be a great winning combination. Netflix is clearly hoping for Hubie Halloween levels of success with this new comedy, as that Adam Sandler Halloween movie turned out to be the most popular film of 2020 on Netflix in the US. The untitled new Marlon Wayans Halloween film is expected to premiere in October 2022 on Netflix. We will be following this project closely as it continues to develop, so look for more casting news soon. Yeah, I really love that casting so far. Again, I don't know what you guys think of Marlon Wayans. I wasn't a huge fan of the scary movies when they were making them and when they were coming out, but looking back now, they do have kind of a fun charm to them, especially that original one. And I gotta admit, it kind of got me excited to hear that he's returning to this horror comedy genre, and even, of course, more so that it's set on Halloween. And if you remember, in more recent years, after he was no longer involved with the scary movies, he starred in two other kind of similar movies. It was a Haunted House and a Haunted House 2, which I thought those were pretty fun too. Again, similar humor, but but I'm all for some more Halloween comedy, especially family friendly comedy. I mean, I love horror as much as anybody. My son's 14 now, so he can watch most of the horror stuff I watch with me now. And but I being a parent, I loved when in earlier years when we did find some fun, just family friendly movies that yeah, it was made for the kids, but the parents could enjoy as well. And I've talked about last uh, last week we talked about Disney's Under Wraps. This one is going to be a little a little less kid friendly than that. I imagine a PG-13 type feel. Obviously, it's she's a teenager in the film. And by the way, that casting of Priya Ferguson, Erica from Stranger Things, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, couldn't be more perfect casting, if you ask me. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch Stranger Things, but she's great in that show, and that character is great as she's written. So I think just knowing, Wayans' comedy style and delivery and what we've seen her capable of on that show already, I think it's going to be a fun pair, and I want to see who else they add to this cast. And yeah, as I said in the video, it clearly to me is trying to fill that Hubie Halloween spot. There's actually a petition going on online for a little while to get a sequel of Hubie Halloween made. It might happen one day. Like I said, it was a big hit for Netflix, so we'll see. But I can see how Netflix was in negotiations, in negotiations with Marlon Wayans, and said, I tell you what, make it a Halloween set comedy, and we're good to go. And because that was kind of the deal with Sandler. He said in some interviews that they wanted a holiday comedy, and they kind of left it up to him in that case to pick the holiday, and so he chose the right one. In other words, so David says Chris and Sean shouted you out on their new thing with two heads. Yes, I did hear that. Yep. Yeah, I made a comment on their previous video about the new Chucky series being set on Halloween, and that makes it a Halloween event as far as I'm concerned. I was already on board and excited for it, but the fact that it's actually taking place around Halloween and premiering in October, yeah, perfect. So yes, they did read that and give me a little shout out on there. I did see that, David. Awesome. And Christopher also mentioned a few other things that I'm going to mention in just a little bit later. But yeah. Thanks for the shout out, guys. I appreciate it. Uh, Ken says, I think it will be great for the fans. Their movies are okay, not a huge fan. Yeah, again, it's not for everybody. You're talking about the Wayans film. And again, for him personally as an actor, people forget that he has done some dramatic stuff. Right now, he's in the new Aretha Franklin movie in a dramatic role and is apparently getting, good reviews for it and everything. But I remember way back, he was in Requiem for a Dream, the gritty heroin drama Darren Aronofsky directed way back. And, it was light years away from like that slapstick, goofy humor of the scary movies, which again, when they were released and coming out, you know, it wasn't really anything I was racing out to see or anything. But like I said, I admit, looking back now, watching especially that first one, it's kind of fun to see. I guess part of it's because it's kind of retro now. It's kind of a throwback to some of those horror films that I do love. And so I'm interested to see how it goes. I hope it's not just straight parody. I hope they do put some good heart into it. That's one thing I liked about Hubie Halloween. I do agree that Sandler's choice for Hubie's voice probably unnecessary, pretty goofy. It did distract me a bit in the trailers, but once I got watching the movie, after about the first 5 or 10 minutes, it just that part of it just went away for me, and there was so much heart and Halloween atmosphere and Halloween heart in that film that there was just no way I couldn't not love it. And yeah, it's not horror, but it had a lot of cool things in it. So I'm excited and looking forward to this. And obviously, we're going to be covering it closely as it develops. Just one of the many Halloween movies that we already have to look forward to in 2022. Well, we got, again, for the family-friendly stuff, there's Hocus Pocus 2 coming to Disney Plus next year. We've also got, of course, Halloween Ends. That's the big dog next year. Terrifier 2, it's looking like, is going to be next year. And Dark Harvest, another Halloween horror film coming next September. I'm going to be talking about that one a little bit more. That's part of our ongoing coverage of that, and actually one of our big stories this week. But all of those are coming in 2022. And if that's not enough, here's the segue into our next news item of the week. Another 2022 Halloween. I don't know if I can call it a movie, but it is being termed a Halloween special. And this one is pretty big news. It's coming from Marvel Studios. Now, it's going to be a Disney Plus exclusive, so it's going to, I wish everything they did wasn't tied to Disney Plus now. For those of us that don't subscribe to Disney Plus, I'm going to eventually. But but I do understand where they're coming from with it, and it's just the way it is. They're going to do that to get people like me to subscribe. So you've seen the Marvel shows that they're doing over there. I haven't seen them, but they're doing quality stuff over there that, of course, is all part of the expanded MCU. Now they have the MCU in theaters, they have the MCU on Disney Plus, and it's just ever expanding. And this is part of that, and this is pretty damn exciting because it's Marvel Studios producing a Halloween special. And if the word on the street is right, and the character that it's going to be featuring is actually the character it's going to be featuring, yeah, it sounds damn cool and right up our alley. And it's another one, obviously, we're going to be covering super closely as it continues to develop. And one more exciting Halloween project to look forward to watching in 2022. Check it out. We've just learned that Marvel Studios is developing a new Halloween special for Disney Plus, and the search is on for a lead. The Wrap reports that Marvel is, quote, actively searching for a Latino actor to lead the cast of an as-yet untitled Halloween special that will air on Disney Plus, end quote. The report goes on to specify that the studio is looking for a Latino male in his 30s to star in the Halloween special, which is expected to begin production in early 2022, presumably to premiere next October. The Rat then cites individuals with knowledge of the situation who claim that the character may be based on Werewolf by Night, a name used by two separate Marvel characters in the comic books. The first character, known as Werewolf by Night, was Jack Russell, created by Jerry Conway and Mike Ploog based on concepts by Stan Lee and Roy Thomas, who first appeared in a 1972 issue of Marvel Spotlight and later starred in a Werewolf by Night series that ran for 43 issues ending in 1977. Russell is a descendant of lycanthropes in the comics, and that series was interestingly where readers were first introduced to Moon Knight, a character whose own Disney Plus series is also coming in 2022. Marvel then introduced a second version of the character named Jake Gomez in the 2020 Werewolf by Night Volume 3, Number 1. This iteration of the character is a member of a Native American tribe whose family has been cursed with being lycanthropes, and he clashes with a nefarious pharmaceutical company exploiting members of the tribe. We'll have to wait and see which version of the character, if in fact either of these, will be the inspiration for the new Halloween special. Disney is apparently all in on the holiday-themed Marvel specials, having just recently wrapped the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which will also premiere in 2022. Who knows, maybe we can get a new Halloween special featuring a different Marvel character each year? Our first taste of what Halloween's like inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe came earlier this year on a Halloween set episode of the series WandaVision, which is also streaming on Disney+. And even more recently, just this week in fact, it was confirmed that the new sequel, Spider-Man No Way Home, is in fact set at least partly on or around Halloween. Obviously, we're going to be covering this one closely, and we'll continue to update as we learn more. Yeah, lots to look forward to, like I said. And again, this is big news because this is Marvel and Disney, and they're really just jumping in to the Halloween pool in a big way. I mean, Marvel has already, like I said in the video, they spent some time on the Halloween season and the day with WandaVision, excuse me, and but they just finished production on the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which is going to be a Christmas special. And so clearly this is Disney's thinking. We've got the Guardians Christmas special. Now we need a Marvel Halloween special. Now they're looking at possibly Werewolf by Night. I mean, that sounds like a perfect title and a perfect kind of unknown character to bring up in this way. And if it's just going to be a special, like a one-time, event, or maybe it's going to be just a limited series. I mean, they're all advertised as limited series, but maybe it'll just be like a 3 or 4 episode thing just to air next October. Or maybe it'll just be like a Disney Plus exclusive, basically a feature film that they're going to call a Halloween special. Who knows at this point? All of the above could be possibilities, but I think it's definitely interesting and notable that the original run of this comic title is where they introduced Moon Knight. And Moon Knight is already coming next year. That's definite. Oscar Isaac stars as Moon Knight. So they're going to want to be building hype to that. Whether or not that premieres before or after this, I'm thinking maybe right after. This could be a nice lead-in. You know how Marvel, if you watch these things, you know how Marvel ties everything together, and they're going to use every show and every release to try to tee up the next big thing they've got going. And in many cases, not even the next big thing. In many cases, they're just teeing up future things that they've got planned for down the road. Or even in other cases, future things that they're just hoping to pull together for down the road. So, yeah, it certainly makes sense that it could be that character. Although, all that said, and I've never read Werewolf by Night, by the way. I don't know anything about the comic book other than what you just saw, which is, a quick Wikipedia search. But it's also notable that the new version of that character, the latest version, the Native American version, was just launched in comic book form last year. So I would almost think that it'd be a little more directly inspired by that version, because if they just launched it last year, surely something like this special was already starting to be in the planning stages. I mean, Marvel and Disney, they plan these things out pretty far in advance. So whether or not it's going to be that exact character or not, or maybe a third iteration of the Werewolf by Night character, maybe it'll be a whole other character. Not either of those guys, but another guy who, is a lycanthrope, is a werewolf. And that could tie in with Moon Knight investigating it. Moon Knight's kind of this nighttime Batman type character, only for Marvel. And so, that could make for some really interesting Halloween time adventures. And to me, I've still got my review of Long Halloween Part 2 coming, and I've been watching those films this summer, and so it's like Marvel and DC, one hits over here, the other one kind of mirrors it over here. And we just got the animated Long Halloween Part 1 and 2 from DC, which are great, by the way. And then the next Batman movie coming out next year in March. Lots of evidence out there that is set on, or at least partly on or around, the Halloween holiday, and based at least partly on the Long Halloween. And so now we have confirmation that we have this Halloween special coming, which is it's very notable to me that it's a Halloween special. That's how the Wrap termed it in their headline, in the article, a Halloween special. So not just something set on Halloween, like the Batman is likely to be, at least partly, and like the new Spider-Man we know now is going to be at least partly. So again, it obviously a lot of reason to be excited for this and to see what Marvel is going to do with this. And so we're going to be following it closely. And as you heard, they're looking for a Latino actor to lead the cast. So that, again, doesn't quite match up with either of those origin stories you just heard from the first two Werewolf by Night characters. So again, maybe it's going to be a third character with a similar story of one or both of them, or maybe just a combination. Knowing how Marvel does things, though, if it's a third character, then if it goes well, plan on meeting the other guys at some point as well. And like I said in that video report, just my own opinion, but if this turns out well, how cool would it be for Marvel to give us a new Halloween special on Disney Plus every year, every October? There's so many characters that could work for it, so many monster characters that they've had over the years, not the least of which is the Jack-o'-lantern character. Look him up. Pretty awesome. I see Chad Francis has joined the live stream tonight. Welcome. Darlene is here as well. Ken says he looks like Jacob from Twilight. Oh, the Werewolf by Night looks like Jacob from Twilight. That's another one. I only watched that first Twilight movie like one time and never watched any of the other ones, and so I wouldn't even know what Jacob looked like in there. But thank you. I'm sure it's I'm sure that's not what they were going for, but I'm sure you're not wrong. Darlene agrees, and Darlene liked WandaVision. Yeah, I heard a lot of really good things about it. And again, I just haven't broke down and paid the money for Disney Plus yet. You know what I mean? Like I will eventually. And I don't even want to get into it. They pissed me off with The Mandalorian, is what it was. Every Star Wars property they put out on physical media. I figured right before they're going to stream season 2, they're going to put out season 1. They've never put out any of those exclusives on media, specifically because they want me to subscribe to them. And so now I'm trying to boycott. But there's just too much good stuff that they've got on there that I can't live without seeing for much longer. So yeah, I've heard great things about WandaVision and all that stuff. I mean, Marvel always does a good job. They have ups and downs like anybody, but in general, they're great. And Disney certainly knows what they're doing. And this is a part of a larger initiative of Disney, really, to create a lot of quality Halloween viewing, honestly. Specifically Halloween. Like I said, Hocus Pocus 2, you guys might not care about it, but next year that's going to be huge for that streaming network. It is going to be the equivalent of The Mandalorian for a certain audience when that drops on that network next year. I have no doubt. And it'll be a big deal just for all of us that love Halloween, because it will take place on Halloween again. This year, though, they're even doing a spooky Lego Star Wars special. You know, it's a Halloween special. It's not, they're not going to mention the word, of course, because it doesn't exist in Star Wars, I don't think. But, you know, they're trying to cross over every audience possible and have something for every holiday, for every audience, for all of their properties. And the more they can do that crossover, another example is this year's Muppets Haunted Mansion. Prime example of what I'm talking about. Disney, you know, taking one of their iconic properties, this ride, you know, iconic dark ride, the Haunted Mansion, and everybody knows the ride, everybody remembers the movie, and combine that with another one of their iconic properties, the Muppets, who everybody loves the Muppets. Let's throw them in the Haunted Mansion, and then the magic word, set it on Halloween. That was more than a word, but you know the word I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm stoked to see what they do. Darlene caved and got Disney Plus. Yeah, I mean I'm gonna have to, and yeah, my wife and I have been talking. Honestly, we're probably gonna end up cutting the cable here soon and just doing, you know, streaming the stuff that we want, getting the apps. I mean, it's all gonna be about the same money at the end of the day, whether you're doing a dozen different apps or you're, you know, paying cable and doing premiums on this end. I mean, I don't know what's cheaper. I don't think any of it is. And I think it's all going to end up going back to bundling the apps, which will be a lot like what we did for cable before cutting the cable. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, I'll cave. I'll get it eventually. Unless you want to throw me a subscription, Disney. Just saying. Chad's late, but here. Nah, you're not too late, man. So you guys think the werewolf by night looks like Jacob from Twilight? That's funny. Anyway, I'll be checking it out. And again, we don't know for sure that that's what it's based on. That's the Wrap reporter, and they've got inside sources claiming that. I wouldn't doubt it though. Again, for all the reasons I just said, I wouldn't doubt it at all. It makes perfect sense. But in any case, a Halloween special set in the MCU. And while we're talking about the MCU, I guess let's just go ahead and talk about this right now. Let's talk about that that Spider-Man trailer, guys. I know, you know, superheroes are not exactly our typical coverage, but did you guys see the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer? I know you guys did. Clearly. And again, I'm not going to do a breakdown on the whole trailer. You can watch it whenever. You probably already have. But there was these images that actually, I mean, I had remembered hearing something, some kind of word that maybe this film was set on or around Halloween. And I think I remember hearing something like that. But I've been concentrating so much on The Batman, which is going to be released next year, that I wasn't really following the development of this film as nearly as close. But here we go. This is the first image that suggests that the film takes place partly on or around Halloween. And you can see right there, that's our Peter Parker. And right behind him, there's some Black Cat decorations that look like the kind of Black Cat decorations that you only really see up around Halloween time. And even in the reflection of that picture hanging over his shoulder, I don't know what it is, but it looks like some orange lights that are very possibly Halloween lights. At least that's what I was thinking. And then they show us this next image, which Again, there's no telling if it's the actual very next image that we see in the movie. Sometimes they edit these things weird, but that's what we see next. Presumably the lights that are reflecting on that picture. And it looks like, I mean, the next scene he goes to see Doctor Strange. So it kind of looks like it's supposed to be like a Doctor Strange Halloween string light, except it doesn't really look too much like Doctor Strange. He's wearing a witch hat. So it's almost like a generic, like Walmart version or Dollar Tree version. Probably not Dollar Tree, like a generic version of string lights that are meant to resemble Doctor Strange, but they probably don't have the actual likeness rights within the MCU. I mean, to use the Doctor Strange likeness. I don't know. I'm reading into it a lot, but what I'm not reading into it is the fact that right there in the bottom left-hand corner of that photo, that's what confirms it beyond a shadow of a doubt. That is the word Halloween. That is a bat hanging next to the Halloween. Again, kind of cool just seeing a bat in a Spider-Man movie. Just saying, I'm a Batman guy too. But but that is Halloween. So again, will the whole movie take place on Halloween and culminate on October 31st? I'm sure it won't. It may even only just be a few minutes that take place around this season. But there is even other evidence as well, aside from just these two scenes. These are the most definite two, but there's other stuff like just the fall foliage that you can clearly see in the trees when Spider-Man is flying around in the trailer. And it clearly looks like fall. There's also scenes that they're back in school. It almost seems like a returning back to school after summer, which all makes total sense. I don't know if you guys how big a Spider-Man fans you are, if you saw the last two Spider-Man movies, but the first Marvel Spider-Man movie from 2017 that took place around in school during the school year. I think it was I forget what part of the school year it was. It was toward later on in the year. Then the last movie, Far From Home, that took place over summer break. So it makes sense that this new movie would be in the fall later that year, and school has resumed again. All of which suggests fall, autumn, Halloween setting. Again, is it going to play a factor into the film? I doubt it. But again, minor spoiler if you haven't watched the Spider-Man trailer and don't want to know anything, but there is that quick glimpse of what definitely appears to be one of Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs. That's what they're called in the comics. That's what they look like in the comics. They've never really looked like that in the feature film versions and Sam Raimi's versions or in the Amazing Spider-Man versions when they've done Green Goblin. They never quite look like pumpkins per se. But again, admittedly, this is the part I'm reaching the most, but I still just think it's cool. There's a pumpkin bomb in a movie set on or around Halloween. So, it opens December 17th. And we'll be talking more about that as we get closer to that, I'm sure, and as more evidence comes out about how much of the film, in fact, is or isn't set on and around Halloween. It definitely looks like Peter's going to be traveling to other universes, opening up the multiverse. So it may very quickly get away from that, but just as easily now it could very easily kind of follow that and use that imagery. I mean, think about thematically what they're doing. Peter's in the trailer saying, thinking about, I wish everybody didn't know I was Spider-Man. I wish I could go back to wearing my disguise, my costume. Halloween's all about costumes. Again, I mean, who knows where they're going to go with this, but it is possible that in these other dimensions, it's still kind of the same calendar day, just in other dimensions, which how rad would that be to get multiple different versions of Halloween season in multiple different multiverse universes. Again, it's probably not going to be a whole lot more than what we see in the trailer, honestly, but there's always the chance it could be a lot more. And again, these movies don't tend to jump a huge, at least the Spider-Man films haven't really jumped a huge amount of time within each 2-hour film. They all take place within a few days of each other, give or take. I think the first one, it was a little bit longer than that when he's training and everything, but the last one anyway. All right, so what do you guys think about that real quick before moving on? And again, we are covering, well, now we're covering Spider-Man. We're covering Spider-Man, y'all. We're also covering Batman. Not just because of the long Halloween movies that just came out, but like I said, the Batman is coming out in March, hopefully. That one is also set on or around Halloween. At least that's what we believe. That's what evidence in that trailer suggests. That's what photos from the set suggest. And knowing that it is at least somewhat inspired by the long Halloween comic book arc, that suggests that as well. But I'm going to talk more about that at a later time. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Chad loves Batman. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, how can you not love Batman? I mean, I guess some people don't. I love Batman and Spider-Man, but yeah, I love some Batman. So you put Batman in a Halloween setting, which the long Halloween is. I should just be giving you my full part 2 review live tonight. In a word, in 2 words, it's awesome. But I'm going to do a whole nother video. But yeah, it's you know, it is definitely a yeah. You put and remember Batman Returns. That's another one I was going to mention. It takes place during Christmas. Iron Man 3 takes place during Christmas. You know, they qualify as Christmas movies, if you ask me. They take place entirely during the season, and the holiday itself doesn't really play a part in the plot or anything, you know, but it definitely makes good use of the atmosphere and all. So if we could get a movie like the new Spider-Man and or like the new Batman, preferably both, that are set firmly in October, the way that Batman Returns and Iron Man 3 were set in December, right around Christmas. Oh, man. I mean, come on. And you could have just imagined the fun that they could have with the imagery, and everybody's already in costumes. And in the Marvel world, certainly everybody would already be in costumes as the Avengers, as all the characters. All right, I didn't plan on talking about Spider-Man quite that long, but again, this is a big deal. This is a major release. This is Sony's biggest release of the year. It's a Marvel release, but this one is, you know, not coming from Disney. It's coming from their partnership with Sony, and because it's a long story, but this is their biggest release of the year, clearly. They're hyped for Venom, and Venom made them a crap ton of money, and yes, it's going right up against Halloween Kills, and no, I'm not worried that Halloween Kills is going to make a ton less money because it's got to go against Venom. I think everybody is pretty much going to go see both movies, and pretty much anybody watching me on this channel, I know which one you're going to see opening night. So, you know, that's all I know about that. That's all I'll say about that tomorrow. We could get into a bigger conversation on Monday about the ramifications of that, but I'm not worried about that. Bottom line is they're both going to make a ton of money. Venom is going to make a ton of money. It's going to get a lot of people's attention. And I think part of the reason maybe why they're not moving it further back is because Sony wants that film to come out before this new Spider-Man. Maybe because something story-wise, plot-wise, Easter egg-wise, post-credit-wise, you know, is going to tie those storylines in a little bit more. And for that reason, you know, Venom kind of needs to come out before the new Spider-Man movie. Maybe. Again, this is not what I came on here to discuss so much tonight, but I did want to talk about Spider-Man for just a minute because, you know, that is just a huge thing. And just real quick, before I go to our big story of the week, Candyman's kind of a Halloween movie too. I haven't seen it yet. Some of you might have already seen it by now. No spoilers if you have, but there's that clip that we reported on, if you remember, just a few days ago. I guess it was last week. There was a clip released where they were telling the story of, you know, it's pretty clear in this new Candyman, there's been multiple Candyman killers over the years, multiple figures. And we know this from these clips and trailers that have been released. But did you see there was the Candyman story of a Candyman, this one character's Candyman that he came into contact with or remembers hearing about as a child. And long story short, he was always handing out candy to kids, kind of, you know, like a homeless guy, kind of creepy and weird. And everybody just thought he was weird until Razorblade showed up in a little girl's Halloween candy. And then at that point, it became kind of a Freddy Krueger thing. Everybody said it's got to be him. And again, this isn't a spoiler for Candyman. Maybe mute for a second if you haven't seen this clip. I haven't seen the movie yet. But in the clip, it goes on to say that the cops ended up murdering this guy, this early Candyman, believing that he put the razor blade in this girl's candy on Halloween. Then, of course, few weeks later, more razor blades and more candy. They realized it wasn't that guy. It was somebody else. They had killed the wrong guy. Of course, I guess the question, maybe the film answer, is that they don't answer in that clip is, well, or maybe it was that guy, but then somebody else got the idea and started doing it later. Who knows? But the interesting thing is just a tiny bit of Halloween thrown in to Candyman. So, I mean, again, the icons are all coming into our favorite holiday, as it should be, honestly. Yeah, Michael owns it, and but come on, man. The more the merrier. We got Chucky celebrating Halloween this October on the new TV series. Candyman referencing Halloween in this new incarnation of Candyman, and specifically the origin story of one of the previous Candymans. So, yeah, it's great time to love all things Candyman, or all things Candyman. Well, I do love all things Candyman too, but it's a great time to love all things Halloween. If you ask me, never really been a better time. Yeah, Darlene says WandaVision did Halloween. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. WandaVision did do Halloween. And again, that was in January. So they were actually the first Halloween episode of the year. And then next was actually Disney Plus's new Scooby-Doo Peanuts show. I forget the name of it, but they did a Halloween episode as well. So there have been some Halloween episodes. If you got Hulu, American Horror Stories did a couple of their episodes on Halloween as well. And the new American Horror Story, which just started this week, I don't know if you're watching that double feature. I always watch the show every year. I always look forward to it. And they almost always do something cool for their Halloween set episodes each year. So I'm sure we got that to look forward to, too. Let's see. Chad says Batman is always dark. I love it. Oh, yeah. Batman is great. Batman. Ken says Batman. Great. Loved the anime series. Oh, yeah. The animated series was groundbreaking and awesome. Ken says Tim Burton's Batman best, hands down. I agree. I love, Michael Keaton's my Batman. Yeah, I really liked the Dark Knight movies that Christopher Nolan directed with Christian Bale. I love them. They're basically perfect movies in my opinion. But yes, for me personally, my Batman is Michael Keaton in Batman 89 and Batman Returns, and in The Flash next year. Again, we're getting into superhero talk. That could be a whole nother night, though. I mean, we could do that. This is the Halloween show, though. So unless it's set on Halloween, we probably shouldn't go too far into that tonight. But yeah, I love some Batman. And to me, Batman always qualifies for Halloween talk because he is, getting in costumes and terrifying people. That's kind of his thing. It's our thing, too. Oh, Ken said it 5 times. Look out. Darlene agrees Michael Keaton is her favorite Batman. Oh, yeah. Ken's talking about Carnage. Yeah, again, I'm not going to spend too much tonight talking about that. We could go into it a little bit more Monday night if you guys want to. But I think I said what I said previously when somebody asked about Venom facing Halloween Kills. I still feel the exact same way. I'm not worried about it. I mean, yes, there's crossover audiences. Just like some of the people that are going to go see Halloween Kills, like James Bond and whatever else is coming out that month. Dune. I know there's a ton of things coming out. But again, I just go back to the simple thing that, what are you guys going to go see opening night? Which one of the above, all of the above, are you most likely to go see in a theater more than once? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think I know the answer for any of you watching this anyway. I know the answer for me. I'm not taking anything away from those films. I'll see Venom eventually. I'll see all of them eventually. But no, I'm not worried about it. Not at all. Ah, Christopher Nelson back in the house. Remembers when everyone didn't like Keaton's Batman? Yeah, I remember that too. I definitely remember that. And by the way, everybody, Christopher Nelson, if you don't know, local celebrity, not local, celebrity in our little chat room tonight, guys. Oscar-winning special effects makeup artist, of course, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, etc., etc., etc. And one of the ones, Christopher, that you worked on, I believe, we talked about once upon a time, Batman Returns, which is my personal favorite of all the Batman movies ever made so far. That one, I mean, I love 89 as well. Nicholson's Joker, and yeah, but Batman Returns, it is just so good. I could go on and on and on about that. So much good stuff in there. I just love it. Yeah, everybody say hi to Mr. Nelson tonight, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, I talked about all the Halloween Kills stuff, like at the top of the show tonight. All the NECA and Fright Rag stuff. But let's see. Ken says, I had a dream I was in Halloween Kills and came across Laurie Strode, then I woke up. Wow. Well, be careful. Be careful. I don't know if I want to have a dream of being in Halloween Kills. You know what they say about dying in your dreams? And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've had a dream of being chased by Michael. You know, I rarely remember my dreams very much these days. Also, I don't know if that's an old age thing or something else. I don't know. But Chad loves Batman Returns. Yeah, it's the best. David Sewer says, plus Burton's Batman. The Prince did the soundtrack. Yep. The Maestro Megatron. Love your work, bro. Keep up the good work. Well, if you're talking to me, then thank you, Maestro Megatron. I love that. Thank you. And but most likely, I imagine you're probably talking to Christopher Nelson, in which case I totally agree as well. We all definitely love his work. Absolutely. Chad says, thanks for being here, Chris. Yeah, I mean, this is just a treat. I mean, we've been getting some surprise guests in the live chat the last couple weeks. Whether it's been here on the live show last week with Jason from Bad Candy, and then of course we had Eric Preston on Monday night the other week, and Sean dropped in one night. Here we have Christopher tonight. Man, this is getting fun, guys. You know, you can tell something is in the air. The Halloween, it's. I was telling my wife we need an official symbol that is like the bat symbol, and I said that we need our bat symbol, but of course it's got to be a jack-o'-lantern. So I need like the perfect HDN jack-o'-lantern. Maybe we'll do a contest or something. See if somebody out there can design us something cool. But that's what I feel like we're doing. You know, as you know, summer's coming to a close. August is ending. Or it's almost Labor Day, you know, the nights are getting longer. It's like our bat symbol, our Hallow symbol is in the sky and everybody's seeing it. So again, thanks for being here. Thanks, Christopher, for being here, and thank all you guys for being here. Christopher says, I am capable of talking about other things than Halloween. Yes. Awesome. Very cool. He says, doing great with your show's channel, pal. Keep up the good. Oh, man. Well, thank you. Hey, somebody, screen cap that for me so I remember where it's at in the in the chat so I can pull that quote up. I'm going to put that right on the top of the YouTube channel now. All right, Christopher? I'm just kidding. But no, for real, thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. And of course, I always enjoy what you and Sean are doing and everything you do in all your projects. One of which a future project I'm gonna talk about in just a little bit. I think it's one of your future projects. I don't know, but we'll get to that in just a minute. But chances double times 5. That's right. Yeah. Chad says loves thing with 2 heads and HDN. Yes. Well, thank you. And again, Christopher, we're not just saying this because you're here. I mean me and some of my friends here that tune in regularly, especially on the Monday nights. Yeah, we all love thing with 2 heads. We love most recent episode, awesome. We all devour those episodes as soon as they come out. So you guys, yeah, keep it up. Keep up the great work. Love what you guys are doing there. Always just an entertaining time and great to listen to. And if you haven't listened to their show, just look it up on YouTube, The Thing with 2 Heads. It'll come right up, or go to Sean's channel. It's Malfunk Sean. Yeah, you'll find it. But if you just search Thing with 2 Heads, they're gonna come right up. All the episodes are great. David Summers and Devil Times 5. I can't do it like they can. I can't do it like they can, and I don't have a good enough mic to get right up on it like that. But all right, let's move on now. Gosh, I can't even believe I've already been on here this long. Man, time really flies. But I told you there's a lot to talk about this week. There's a lot to get to. The next thing I want to talk about, this is kind of our main story of the week, and then there's going to be a few other things we're going to talk about at the end. But the big story I want to talk about is John Carpenter's Tales for a Halloween Night Volume 7. Do you guys know about Tales for a Halloween Night? Are you up to date on this? Because if not, you're about to be, because you need to be. And this is, let me pull up the picture here if I can find it. Yeah, well, here's the cover art, first of all. That's the cover art that was revealed on, I believe, Saturday. They dropped this on Instagram, and by they, I mean Storm King Productions. That is John Carpenter and his wife Sandy. King Carpenter's publishing company. Of course, Sandy is a movie producer as well. They are both writers, and for the last 7 years now, they have released a new volume of Tales for a Halloween Night. And it's actually, I just said it wrong. It's technically Tales for a Halloween Night. There's only one N, and it's all one word, and that's always a little weird. But it's Tales for a Halloween Night is what it is. But yeah, what this is, it's a compilation. It's an anthology they do every year, and it's usually 12 or 13 stories, all taking place on Halloween, all from different writers and artists. And the very first one came out in 2015, and yeah, they followed up every single year with a new volume. And it's always an exciting event. I've not read them all. I've got the first one, but we report on it every year, and they're just, I've read some of the stuff in them from online and stuff. But it's always a big, exciting event. And this year, it's awesome because they're actually going on sale next month, earlier than ever. Some years they haven't even been released until like right before Halloween. But this time, they're coming out way before. And the coolest part, I think, is, I'm pointing the wrong way. Look at that cover. It's the man himself. It's Carpenter on that cover. And we'll take a closer look at it in just a second, and we'll take a look at the trailer. But, I love this cover art, first of all. And I did not see that coming. They've never featured John Carpenter on the cover, much less inside the comic book. But that's what they're doing this year. And it's pretty damn cool. Before I go any further, I did prepare a video report. So let me just run that right now with the essential information that you need to know about this this comic and its release date. And then I'm going to come back on here and we'll take a little bit closer look at this cover image and some of the other images that are teased in the official trailer. Anyway, check this out first, and then I'll be back on here in about 2 minutes. Oh, well, you might have to wait just a minute longer than those 2 minutes because this one is actually not queued up quite yet. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. You know what it's like when it's live. Chad says he's getting this volume 7. Yeah, I mean, they're all great. They've all got good, amazing artwork in there. Really awesome stories. Again, it's all Halloween graphic novels, Halloween horror specifically. I mean, it's pretty much everything we live for. Okay, let's try this again and see if this works this time. Yep, there's me. And all right, here we go. Here's my report on that, and then we'll talk. Storm King Productions unveiled the cover of John Carpenter's Tales for a Halloween Night Volume 7, featuring Carpenter himself this week. Oh, man. And then, yeah, okay, hang on, guys. I know what's going on here. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. See, right after I got such a nice compliment, I'm doing such a great show, this is what happens. All right, I think I got it. Here we go, maybe? Storm King Productions unveiled the cover of John Carpenter's Tales for a Halloween Night Volume 7, featuring Carpenter himself this week, and then really blew our minds with a trailer featuring Michael Myers and more of John Carpenter himself and wife Sandy King Carpenter on the inside. The Volume 7 cover art by Tim Bradstreet features an image of John Carpenter himself wearing sunglasses, kind of reminiscent of They Live. Each lens reflects a different scene. In one eye, what appears to be an incoming transmission, and in the other, maybe some kind of Halloween 3 reference. You can also see a jack-o'-lantern and what looks like a skull mask on either side of Carpenter's head. There's some Polaroids, a silhouette of some creepy-looking cowboys, a train, and an old-school cemetery, all featured throughout this amazing cover art. Then they released an official trailer that reveals even more new art, all of which looks amazing. The trailer even features this image of John Carpenter himself with his wife and film producer and comic writer and publisher Sandy King Carpenter. But it's this image of Michael Myers, or at least someone dressed up in a Michael Myers costume at what looks like a Halloween house party, that really jumped out at us. Whether or not this is just a really cool Easter egg reference to one of Carpenter's all-time greatest creations, or if one of the stories in Volume 7 is actually about Myers, we'll just have to wait and see. Tales for a Halloween Night Volume 7 comes from the mind of John Carpenter and the heart of Sandy King Carpenter. It features a baker's dozen of twisted tales of terror, tricks, and treats. In Volume 7 of the award-winning graphic novel series, Carpenter and King bring together the best storytellers from movies, novels, and comics for another spine-tingling collection of stories that will haunt you. Each story is a standalone surprise that captures the essence of the best night of the year. Both John Carpenter and Sandy King Carpenter are among the writers included in this year's collection. The first Tales for a Halloween Night graphic novel collection was released in October of 2015 and has been followed each year since with a new volume. You can see the full list of writers and artists right now at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Tales for a Halloween Night Volume 7 will be released on September 22nd. Yes, yes, yes. September 22nd is the date when you can get that at your local comic shop and probably online at numerous retailers as well. Um, so there you see inside the comic, not only is Carpenter himself featured on the cover artwork, uh, he and Sandy are in at least one panel on the inside. Again, are they part of the plot of one of these stories? It's very possible. It's also possible they're just part of the scenery in one of them. And then we've got that great image of Michael. I mean, what is going on there? To my knowledge, they've never featured Michael Myers or any of Carpenter's film characters in these comics, in Tales for a Halloween Night. Now, like I said, it's entirely possible it's not the shape, but it's, a guy wearing a Michael Myers costume. But even if that's all it is, I still think it's damn cool and just pretty awesome, kind of meta for them to do this. And if it is actually supposed to be the shape, well, then I think that just, kicked up the must haveness of this release just a bit more, in my opinion. But again, even if it's just a fun Easter egg reference, I don't remember them doing this before in any of the previous issues. Now, admittedly, I don't own all of the other issues. I haven't seen all of the other artwork. But every year, they put out a trailer just like that. And by the way, the music in that trailer is the Halloween theme. But that doesn't really mean anything because that's the music they use every year in their trailer. Because John owns it and they can do that. And but some of that artwork looks really, really striking and cool. And we know Carpenter's such a big Western fan. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he wrote the Western that's in there. There's definitely at least one that's a Western. You can see some old West imagery, some cowboy stuff, and but it looks like a little bit of everything in there. So what I would like to do is just spend a couple minutes here. I know we've been on for a while, but I mean, if you're still here, then let's roll with this because I want to go through that trailer, and it's not very long, but we'll look at some of those other frames, and maybe you guys can help me see what you see. Again, not necessarily looking for other Easter eggs, although that's pretty awesome, but just the Halloween imagery of it all and what might be going on. Again, this is an anthology, so all the stories are different. They're not necessarily related. They're not related. They're just all their own thing. And you can see the full list of writers and artists that are in this year's issue at HalloweenDailyNews.com. It's pretty impressive. Every year, it's always impressive who they get in there. And every year, the cover art is always awesome. But this one, this might be the best. Or at least my favorite, I'll say. I'm not going to say the best, but because that's subjective. But so before we even get to the trailer, let's just go in for a minute and look at this cover image if we can. All right. Dude says, and now for the big... Oh, he's counting down his Carpenter films. Dude says, In the Mouth of Madness, The Thing, Big Trouble, They Live, and Halloween are his top 5 Carpenter films. Memoirs of an Invisible Man was decent, he says. David Suber says, Matt Carpenter at one of his shows was fantastic. He's my favorite director. Yeah, mine too, man. Yeah. Ken loves They Live. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Yep, I got a t-shirt with that on it. Ken's asking about a Halloween anime series. Well, like I said in my written article, I mean, I don't know what Myers is doing in this issue. We'll have to wait and see. But I've thought to myself, and I put it in print this week, that if ever there was a perfect home for a... Let me be on screen to say this. If ever there was a perfect home for a Michael Myers Halloween franchise comic book moving forward, I can't think of a better place for it to be than with Storm King Productions, John and Sandy's comic book production company. So if this is just the tip of the iceberg with that, hey, I'm all for it. And again, even if it's just not even supposed to be Mike White at all, just a guy, but he is raising a knife, is who knows what it is. But just the fact that he's in there, to me, and the fact that we've got Carpenter and Sandy in there, and Carpenter on this cover, I'm just super curious what is going on. And obviously they're going to get real meta with this issue, which I'm all here for. I love when meta is done right, like in the original Scream, and a few times since then. I mean, it's not always done right, but when it is done right, I love it. And an example of that is the original Scream. Well, all of the Scream franchise, pretty much in general, that's kind of their thing. They're super meta, and it looks like this issue is gonna have at least one story that's gonna be that. Dude says, now for the big reveal, which will have me hated worldwide. I actually prefer watching In the Mouth of Madness to Halloween. That's not going to have you hated, not worldwide, and not even here at Halloween Daily News. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own preferred preferences and all. I mean, and again, as the biggest Carpenter fan in the world, yeah, I mean, I love In the Mouth of Madness. It's one of my favorites. It's one that I got to see in theaters in its first release, which a lot of his classics I can't say that about, unfortunately, because I just, wasn't at the right age, wasn't old enough to see a lot of them in theater at the time. Or in other cases, sometimes just wasn't at the right age to appreciate them if I could have seen them in theater at the time. But I grew up watching them. I talked about this a little bit Monday night. I grew up watching Carpenter films before I even knew who he was or what a director was. And it was years later when I realized, oh, so many of these films that I've always loved, it's this guy. It's this guy behind all this awesome stuff. What? The same guy that created Michael Myers and directed The Thing, and he also did Christine. What? That's the same guy? And Big Trouble too? What? Yeah, that was like mind blowing for me, back then. And so that's, kind of how he quickly became my favorite filmmaker. I talked more about that on Monday. I'm not going to go too far into that anymore right now. But yeah, this cover art is pretty wicked. And again, that's their usual font we get every year. And here you can see the glasses. I mean, that is a clear They Live reference, if you ask me. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. Let's see here. I mean, there's a lot to see in this cover. And many of the others have not had this much going on the cover, I mean. But yeah, he's wearing the shades. It looks like something straight out of They Live. And you can see, I said in the thing, in the one lens, it looks like an incoming transmission. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Again, just because I'm a Carpenter film fan, I think of links to his films, and to me, it's almost like a transmission. I just think of the transmission from the future and Prince of Darkness, something like that coming in. And of course him, just in general from They Live, being able to put on the shades and see what nobody else sees, see the truth. And that other image, now you can get up close and it's kind of hard to make out what it is, but at this distance, my first shot was it looks like that iconic image from Halloween 3 when the trick-or-treaters are trick-or-treating at sunset, and it was used for numerous posters over the years. On a little bit closer look, I don't think it is actually trick-or-treaters, at least not that I can see, but it's hard to tell exactly what's going on there. I mean, it looks like silhouettes of some people on a cliff, maybe one of them holding what looks like maybe a sword. Maybe all three of them are holding a sword, and the fourth one all the way on the right kind of appears to be wearing a cape. Who knows what's happening with that, really? But just the composition of it and looking at it from a distance, my immediate thought was definitely that is some kind of reference to Halloween 3. And it may not be, but I think artistically there's probably a little bit of inspiration. And then, again, I mean, the all important Halloween imagery. This is Tales for a Halloween Night. So they are going to deliver on the Halloween-ness of it all. You know what I mean? The Halloween-ness. We've got the jack-o'-lantern, skull on each side. Like I said in the video, there's what looks like some random Polaroids and a playing card or two down there in the corner. There's more of what I assume is a Western tale. It looks like silhouettes of some cowboys there. There is another kind of theater mask down there in the left-hand corner. I'm just now seeing that I don't know what you would call that kind of mask. Almost looks like one of the ones in that Twilight episode. You guys know the Twilight episode I mean, with the masks. And a lot of grave sites down there on the bottom. Makeshift cemetery. There's another skull, it looks like, down there in the right-hand corner. Yeah, you got somebody's hand over there. Looks like just now kind of making out what maybe a nurse's head silhouette, and underneath that hand there, kind of looks like a nurse hat to me. Again, hard to tell what any of it means, and it's not even about what it means right now. I'm just, geeking out on all the different imagery, and yeah, this last little bit right up top there's a train. So, what's that about? Ken says the glasses represent they live. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think they definitely represent they live. And in that still of John and Sandy, he's wearing the shades again. Now again, I mean, it looks like just what he wears in real life. But of course, John Carpenter in real life is going to wear the They Live shades. I mean, of course he is. Darlene says her boyfriend says Escape from New York was John Carpenter's best. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you have to see Escape from New York. That is, yeah. If I would, yeah, that is a perfect movie. Snake Plissken is the ultimate. He is my, yeah. Ah, good catch, David. That's a cat right below the N. Interesting. I didn't notice that until you pointed that out. That's true. Ah, Ken, I think you might add it. The one lens looks like his movie Vampires. Yeah. That right lens does look more like Vampires than Halloween 3, now that you mention it. It absolutely does. And it makes sense with the imagery that I can make out in there, admittedly, which is not very much. Dude says that's a classy cover. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, to me, it's worth owning, even if you never even crack it open, just to have that cover on it. It's badass. Chad pre-ordered it back in April. That's my man. Christine is Ken's favorite Carpenter. All right, now I'm going to pull up that trailer. And again, this won't take as long as last week's trailer breakdown. Well, mainly because, last week we had a special guest helping me with the breakdown, and that was a longer trailer and a lot more to talk about. And we've already been on here for almost 2 hours. I can't even believe this, guys. This was not my plan to be on here this long, but thanks for sticking around, for real. Let's Let's pull up the trailer. If I can find it. It's around here somewhere. There we go. All right. Here we go. I'm going to pull this up so you can see a good look. You saw some of it in that video package, but let's just take another look. Again, Carpenter loves his westerns. We know this. I mean, they've published whole comic book stories set in the Old West already. Other titles that are not even part of Tales of Halloween Night. Tales for Halloween Night, I mean. So this is clearly one of those. This guy is saying, what's this guff about Hancock? This train is bound for Sakuro. So no clue what that means, but we'll find out. I mean, that's clearly the train that we saw at the top of the cover. And then this character appears to be maybe a female character in the Old West on the train. Says, that was back when you were transporting the one corpse and not a carriage full. So a death train of some sort. Whole carriage full of corpses. Here's another one. Might be from that same story. She's wearing gloves. That it could be still set in the Old West in this story. So this might be that same character that was speaking just a minute ago. And then this shot. Yeah, I really like this shot. This, again, looks like it takes place on that train. I'm just going to call it the death train for now because I don't know what's going on here, but you can clearly see there's the corpses they're talking about. Somebody's standing up just out of sight in the top of the frame. Somebody's standing up, maybe just walking in there to see the damage or see the death for the first time. Are they going to come back as undead? I mean, knowing how these things tend to work, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that one down there in the left looks like he's got glowing eyes. They all kind of look like their eyes went white, almost glowing. So are they going to come back as zombies? What do you guys think? Yeah, Ken, that's it. The Meat Train. Midnight Meat Train. That's a great movie. By the way, anybody remember that one? Midnight Meat Train? That was a good one. I need to watch that again sometime. Ken says they're going to be zombies. Probably. Zombie Train in the Old West. And again, Carpenter likes to go back to the past, I think, because it kind of is his way of setting up the insanity, the madness of our modern world, or even our close to modern world. More from inside the train, it looks like. Look at that blood on the right-hand side coming out of that guy's eyes like that. You can see, yeah, both those zombie guys. Yeah, it looks like maybe they die bleeding from the eyes, or maybe that happens after they're dead. I mean, I can't tell here, but yeah. So clearly, this is our main character of the Death Train story. It looks like gonna have a female hero in there. which I think is going to be a lot of fun, especially considering, you know, taking place in the Old West, where you know, females didn't hold a lot of power back then, and so I think this will probably be an interesting take with her as our hero character. It appears anyway. Yeah, and there's a better look at that cover art. You might have it, man. Yeah, you might have it about the vampires. It does kind of look a little more light from there. I mean, I could see that. I definitely can see, you know, color wise and just composition wise where it's inspired by Halloween 3 a bit, but man. And I don't know who that Polaroid is. You see by the skull there, there's a Polaroid of a bald guy. I don't, you know, for half a second I was like, is that Donald Pleasance? I don't think so, though. I mean, I know it's not Donald Pleasance, but I don't know who it is. And then, of course, some weird symbols in there, too, including one right around John's right eye there, which is all pretty cool. Maybe some voodoo witchery happen, witchcraft maybe. Here we got a wedding scene, and it just goes through this, and again, nothing too obviously horrific here, but then it transitions to this shot, which I don't know what is going on right there. Let me go back, because I think, I mean, is that the same couple? I guess it is. This is how they start. This is where they end up, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what is going on with that. It's like some neon Tron style ghosts almost. I mean, I really like the artwork, but yeah, I mean, the woman, she's like not even all the way there. He's like holding her head by the hair, maybe? Are they ghosts? I don't know. What do you guys think? I like that statue up there, kind of. Well, I do see some smoke blowing out behind them. There's a shot later of a girl starting a drag race. There's a shot of like a drag race going on later on in the trailer. So now I'm thinking maybe this ties in with that story somehow. Ken says she looks like a vampire. Yep. Yep. Yeah, she could. You mean in the wedding shots, maybe? Hmm. The skull could be for the Prince of Darkness. Yeah, it could be. All right, let's move on a little bit to the next frame they show. This is a pretty cool one. Again, no clue if it's from that train story, that death train story, or something else, but clearly this guy is not in very good shape. Okay, so here, and again, my initial glance was I thought this guy was painting this mask, but yeah, I don't think that's what's going on here. What do you think he's about to do? Yeah, Ken says that previous one was the guy holding the girl by the hair. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Kind of just a weird image, that previous one. This one, I don't know. It almost looks that mask, or maybe it's her face, but it looks kind of like a mask on the right, and almost like a Day of the Dead mask, Dia de los Muertos. But you guys tell me, what do you think's going on in this picture right here? What do you think this guy is about to do? Ken says needle and thread to sew the mask on her face. Yeah, I mean, if that doesn't scream Halloween horror, I mean, that is some good shit right there. I think you very well might be right. Yeah, because it does seem to be just a little bit of thread, maybe that you can see right there in the right hand corner a little bit. I think you might be right there, Ken. David says, sew her lips shut. It could be that too. Again, if this is a mask, I kind of like Ken's idea, and I kind of hope he's right that it's sewing it to her face. If this is her face, and this was just something that maybe he painted onto her, then maybe he could be sewing her mouth shut. But I think you guys are on it with the sewing. That looks right. God, I that is a terrifying idea of the mask being sewn to your face. I love it. Let's move to the next frame. Now, this is a pretty cool one. Uh, yeah, she's got a weird skeleton face. I mean, she's been hanging here dead maybe for a while because her face does not look uh, like recently deceased exactly to me anyway. Yeah, we're up in the attic. Um, yeah, not a whole lot clear what's going on here. I mean, it's almost like she's wearing a wedding dress, maybe. What do you guys think is happening in this image? I'm just curious because I mean, she's up in the attic. I thought that was TVs in the corner at first, but it looks more just like generic boxes just in the corner. And there is that door down on the left hand side that is open just a little bit. Maybe this isn't an attic though. Maybe it's a warehouse. Now that I'm looking at it a little bit more, it's looking like that door is kind of way down below her, further away, suggesting a lot more space than a typical attic. I kind of feel like maybe it's a warehouse now. And not sure what is going on around her ankles down there. Something, some kind of weights or something. Aha. Ken says she's wearing the mask. So you think this is the same mask from the previous shot? That could be. And he hung her like a decoration? I guess that could be that previous mask. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I guess it could be. He sewed it to her and then hung her up as a decoration in the attic. Hmm. And here's the shot we were talking about earlier. And again, I mean, probably just like the Michael shot, probably just like a cool Easter egg reference, something just to be fun and meta. But how cool! I mean, and they look great too in comic book form. I mean, yeah, they both look great, don't they? I mean, John looks like his cool, badass self in his They Live shades. you know, happy and yeah, Sandy looks great. They look in love. And yeah, just what appear to be just some random people in the background. They're at a park or something. Nothing, no Halloween atmosphere visible anywhere. So who knows what's going on in this one? But I about fell over when I saw it. I mean, I thought it was cool enough that they put John on the cover, but I mean, inside the comic book this time as well. It's pretty wild. Didn't see that coming. And here we go with the Michael Myers still. And before we even get to that, yeah, it pans up and gives us a look at some of the other people attending what, again, I'm assuming is a Halloween house party. And some of the other attendees, they got some good costumes. You got one there that looks like she's supposed to be Elvira, or uh, yeah, it looks like Elvira hanging out with somebody, a Dracula costume, trying to look like Bela Lugosi. Of course, Frankenstein and the bride are in the back. You got a mummy back there. And somebody making a nefarious face there on the left, right to the left of the Frankenstein monster. I think he might have something important, something up to his mind coming up. And then there's a clown we'll see on the left over here, which I think is also a Myers reference as well. And of course, the witch costume, she's sitting down partying, and a few other costumes there in the background. You got jack-o'-lanterns hanging from the chandeliers. You got bats on the wall. This one's got the most Halloween atmosphere of everything in the trailer. And yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, they've never featured Michael inside any of the previous volumes. It's possible that they have and I missed it, but again, I about fell over watching this trailer and saying, holy shit, Michael Myers is inside this. Or at least somebody wearing a Michael Myers costume, which is pretty, like I said, that's still pretty damn cool. The fact that the comic exists in a universe where the Michael Myers movies exist in that universe. So either the character exists in the universe or the movies exist in this universe. Dude says Elvira is a horror legend. Oh yeah, she is. She is awesome. Ken says looks like Danny Gruesome, the one next to Frankenstein. Huh. I don't know Danny Gruesome. I don't know who that is. He's just making that weird look, like he's up to something. And then you got this clown over here on the left. I don't think you guys can see him as clear. Oh, there. You can try to. But again, he kind of harkens back to that original clown mask that they were in consideration to use in Halloween '78, if you remember, and also kind of reminds me of the clown in the opening moments of Resurrection, although I'm sure that is probably unintentional. And is he waving at us? Oh, it's a horror flick. Danny Gruesome is a horror flick. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Dude says, imagine going to a Halloween party at a great spooky venue, and the guests attending are Cassandra Peterson as Elvira, Robert Englund as Freddy, Hodder as Jason, Castle and James Jude Courtney as Myers, and so on. That'd probably be the ultimate Halloween party. And as cool as that would be to see all of them in costume as their characters, honestly, for me, I'd rather see what they would want to dress up as. Like if that's the costume they choose to go as. But I'm just curious what each of them would pick if it wasn't those characters. What would Cassandra dress up as if not Elvira? has she ever? Like, that's something I'd want to ask her. You know, I'm always curious about people's own real life Halloween costumes. I mean, of course, it'd be epic to see them all in costume, and that's why some of those costume photo ops that are available at the cons are just, you know, once in a lifetime experiences. All right, we're almost done with the trailer here. I love this image of this Grim Reaper character. Again, the fall leaves falling. It just, you know, screams autumn and death. Moving on. Little dialogue pops up here, says, trick or treat, a soul is what I've come to reap. That's pretty cool still, and a pretty cool line of dialogue. What do you guys think? The Reaper gonna come trick or treating? And here we go. All right, you guys help me out with this one. Can't really tell exactly what's going on, but yeah, it looks like this woman was being attacked by some kind of creature with all kinds of tentacles, like a giant bug thing, maybe. And it looks like this guy is trying to pull it off of her, it appears. It is getting all up in him. Yeah, you can see up there in the upper left. Yeah, it is all taken over him. Yeah, I can't tell if that's coming out of him or going into him right now. I think it's attacking him probably. David says the thing. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, I was kind of thinking that, and didn't. I wanted to see if any of you guys were seeing it too. I mean, it is quite a bit like the thing, isn't it? I mean, it is definitely up Carpenter's alley with, I mean, just those thing type, just flailing tentacles and the way it's attaching to the guy's head and neck skin there. Yeah, it looks really gruesome and disturbing the more I look at it. I think this woman has the right look of terror on her face right there. Ken says Little Shop of Horror, yeah. Man-eating plant. I mean, yeah, if it's not the thing, it's something like the thing. Very cool. This is one of my favorite pieces revealed in this trailer, actually. All right, and I don't think there's too many more. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. We have a, this girl, maybe a period story again, and she's about to wave the checkered flag and start the race. Only this drag race means drag a little bit more literally, as you can see here. And damn, I just noticed the guy on the left, he took his shirt off. He's not even wearing a shirt to get dragged. But yeah, this is what they're up to. They got their souped up vehicles. They look like some old school vehicles. They got their hoods off, so they're clearly like I imagine customized, souped up, like old school vehicles made to look or made into muscle cars. And yeah, when they drag race in this story, as you can see, they're dragging somebody. Death race is right, Ken. Yeah. Death race. Got the death train. Now we got the death race. And again, just glancing, the guy on the left, he's got his shirt off. He's all muscular and buffed up and everything. He kind of bigger than the other guy, so it almost looks like they're setting it up like he's the easy favorite. But maybe this other guy, there's something we don't know about this other guy on the right in the red. It's hard to tell here how this is going to go. 50s or 60s cars. Yeah. That's what yeah. Might be set in the 50s or 60s. I'm guessing it probably is. Back before technology gave kids so much more to do than just to go drag racing. Just some good old harmless drag racing. All right. And yeah, look at that shot right there. Now give me your impressions of this image. This is another one that is like disturbing and striking and also screams Carpenter. You know, I mean, every year I look at the trailers, I look at the artwork of these volumes, and they're always great and all, but I feel like this one, it was almost like a conscious effort this year to incorporate a little more of the imagery that we all know and love from John's films. Yeah, don't know who this character right here is. Can't tell if we saw them in any of the previous stills or not, but they're clearly not in a good way right now. All right, guys. I'm going to need just 1 second to flip my camera batteries real quick. And in fact, I don't even need to turn this off right now. You guys just keep commenting. And you'll be able to hear me walk over here to get my battery. So if the sound is not coming through as good, that's because I got to change my battery because we've been on for almost 2.5 hours now. I can't believe this, guys. But I told you there's a lot to talk about tonight. All right, got that camera battery changed. All right, let's get, we're wrapping up this trailer right now. I think there might be 1 or 2 more images left. Or that might be it. There's that beautiful cover art again. And yeah, that's it. That's the trailer. And that's some of their other titles that John and Sandy published. Of course, Tales of Science Fiction, Storm Kids, and Night Terrors. All right, so let me get back over to here. All right. So there we go. The official trailer and cover art for John Carpenter's Tales for Halloween Night. And I think that's how you got to say it. Halloween Night. Because it's one word. One in. Halloween Night. Tales for Halloween Night, Volume 7. Revealed. And as you heard, September 22nd is the release date. You'll be able to find it in your local comic shops. And I'm sure tons of online retailers as well. I'm going to be getting a copy of this one for sure. It all looks awesome. Ken says Ghosts of Mars. Interesting. Very interesting. I like that. One other story. Well, two other things I want to talk to you about, but one other story that's kind of a big story that we're following right now, and because it's ongoing, and that is, excuse me, as we build suspense, that is the new MGM Halloween horror film, Dark Harvest. And I think you probably remember me talking about this if you were here for last week's live show. Let's see here. We talked a little bit about this. Production has begun on this film. And if you don't remember, this is a book that was released probably about 15 years ago, written by Norman Partridge. It's called Dark Harvest. It takes place, I believe, in the 60s, if I remember right, and it's about this small town where young boys, teenage boys, every year around Halloween, they compete in like this rite of passage to compete against this creature that rises from the town's cornfields every year. And the creature is known as the October Boy, also known as Sawtooth. Okay? And that's the creature you see here on this. That's the novel's cover art. Well, we've been following the feature film adaptation of this for a while now, like for the last couple of years. Okay? And very excited that it is now officially in production, and we've been reporting on it. The principal cast members that have been announced so far, they have gathered. They are all on set up in Canada right now. And the director, it's going to be directed by David Slade. Very talented director. He did the Black Mirror Netflix movie Bandersnatch, which was a choose-your-own-adventure thing. Very inventive. He's done many other things that you've probably seen. I love 30 Days of Night. Great vampire flick that he directed. And again, this is coming from MGM and United Artists. And they, too, were at CinemaCon in Vegas this past week, and they were hyping up their upcoming slate of movies, of course, James Bond and all these other big ones. And one of the ones that they talked about, they didn't debut any footage because I don't think there is any yet, but was Dark Harvest. And it is on the calendar to be released next year, September. I believe that's coming out on September 22nd as well, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But what we're going to do, yeah, that Dark Harvest, I was going to try to confirm that date. I think that's dated for September 2nd as well. Or 22nd, excuse me, September 22nd, but I'm going to confirm that for you right now. Yeah, actually, it is dated not for that date. Is it September 9th? Yeah, it's September 9th, excuse me. So really just about 1 year away is what we're talking about right now. September 9th, this feature film is coming out. Now, they're just about ramping up production out there in Canada, and the main actors that have been cast, the lead, his name is Casey Likes, and you probably haven't seen him in a whole lot of things yet. He's done some Broadway stuff, and but he's going to be playing Gene Simmons actually in a new Kiss film coming up. And the female lead, her name is Imari Crutchfield, and she's appeared in a couple of things that you might have seen over the years or in recent years. She appeared in a ton of stuff, and what is his name? Well, she actually appeared in a number of things like Roots and the most recent Vacation movie and some other cool stuff like that. But we reported last week, I think we kind of were the first to report that who's playing Sawtooth. And his name is Dustin Sighthammer. And he, you recently saw him, if you saw the New Mutants movie, he was the Smiling Man in that. And we also talked about last week and that part behind the scenes, behind the camera, is Vincent Van Dyke is part of the special effects team. He is listed on IMDb as being the prosthetic creature uh, creator. Basically, he's going to be working on Sawtooth, on the creature, which is going to be all important for this movie, and his team will be working on that. And I don't know if Christopher is still in here in the live chat. I think he probably left a while ago, but but if he is, maybe he can confirm or just wants to make no comment about this next part. but he did mention on the most recent episode of The Thing with Two Heads, if you were listening, that he's about to start work on a horror movie for MGM. Now, Christopher, of course, brought Vincent Van Dyke in on his team, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Netflix's Fear Street trilogy. They've worked together many times. Obviously, they work well together. They're friends. So, again, maybe if Christopher is in here in the live chat, he wants to confirm this. Maybe he doesn't want to. But I'm going to say that it's not hard to see that, yeah, the MGM horror film he's about to start working on is probably Dark Harvest, with his buddy Vincent Van Dyke working on this creature and the effects in that film. Which, again, as if I wasn't already excited. I mean, I was excited as soon as I heard the synopsis. And then when they named David Slade as the director, I said, yeah, this is going to work. This is going to be great. And I don't know really anything about these young actors. I've not really seen their work, so I can't speak to that. But I love their enthusiasm for the project. They're posting about it on their social accounts, and of course they can't post much, but that's part of how I know for a fact where they're at right now and what's going on. And then but behind the camera, to know that we've got the team that brought us the Myers mask and all those kills in the last two Halloween movies and all of that great work, all those slashers involved in the Fear Street films. I loved all three of those films. So the fact that they're going to be working behind the scenes and creating this creature, which I feel like is going to be a new Halloween icon that we're all going to be talking about. I mean, last week I was talking about Bad Candy and how Bad Candy the Clown is going to be a new Halloween icon after this year, after next month when the film drops. And I think after next year, after this Dark Harvest film drops, Sawtooth will also be a new icon of horror, and specifically the best kind of horror, which is, as you guys know, Halloween horror. Now, like I said, the cast, they are really excited about being a part of this film, and I'm loving seeing their excitement on Instagram. Uh, as you can see, Casey Likes, he shared this in his IG stories week before last. He was one of the first to get there. As you can see, he says, "Hey, Winnipeg." That's where they're shooting. It's in Winnipeg, Canada. And I'm pretty sure we were one of the first to report that. I think we were the first within the horror community to report when and where they were going to be filming this new feature film. And that's in Winnipeg, Canada. And the win is right now. You can see also here Dustin Sighthammer, who's playing Sawtooth. He also posted a similar shot upon his arrival in Winnipeg, Canada. And there you see there's his copy of the script. And it's got his name on it. And he says, "Thank you, MGM. Hashtag Dark Harvest. Hashtag Sawtooth has arrived." Hell yeah. And Amari Crutchfield, our female lead in the film. She was the most recently to join everybody in Winnipeg, Canada. She just got there a few days ago and posted this image on her Instagram stories. And there you see there's her copy of the script in her binder and her gift bag that was left for her. So clearly excitement building here. This is another one that Casey Likes posted just recently. again, obviously, can't share anything from the set for obvious reasons, but it's just really exciting to see that this thing is finally happening because I've been covering this literally for years. This thing has been one of those projects just stuck in development hell for a while. And so to see that it is finally out of development hell and actually in actual development, yeah, very, very exciting. I think this is going to be a great Halloween movie for us all to look forward to. Um, the plot sounds fun and interesting and different. The fact that it's a period piece kind of makes me think a little bit about Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which, I loved. If you haven't read my review or heard me talk about that, highly recommended. Another great Halloween horror movie. So that's happening as we speak, and it's yet another Halloween horror movie that we have to look forward to in 2022. So let's run it down. We got Halloween Ends. Okay, we got, I'm going to say Terrifier 2 because there's no way it's going to come out before Halloween this year. So at whatever point it comes out, it'll most likely be in 2022 at some point. We got Dark Harvest coming early September. And like I said, outside of the horror genre even, we've got things like this new Marvel special to look forward to, like the Hocus Pocus sequel to look forward to, and lots of other stuff that I'm sure is going to be announced between now and then that we don't even know about yet. So next year is already shaping up to be just as big, if not bigger, as this year as it comes to Halloween entertainment, Halloween set specials, and especially Halloween set movies. The best kind of movies. Okay. Ken loves that movie, 30 Days of Night. Yeah, I do too. I do too. I don't know if some people love it, some people don't like it. I thought it was great. It's one of my favorite vampire movies, actually. I really like that one. Darlene smiled at the mention of Canada. You must be up in Canada. All right, almost done tonight, folks. The last thing I want to talk about is Mad Monster Expo. We are hitting the road next week once again, going out amongst the living. Kind of scary, kind of nerve-wracking, especially with everything going on in the news, but we couldn't be more excited. We had to sit out Mad Monster Party this past February. We just couldn't travel yet, and this is what we consider our home convention. This is the one we've been to the most often of any other convention. It's the one we go to typically every single year, and we look forward to it. And this year, we're super excited because they're doing their first ever fall show. It's not Mad Monster Party this time. It's Mad Monster Expo, and that's happening Labor Day weekend. So that's next weekend, September 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's happening in Charlotte, North Carolina, actually just outside of Charlotte in Concord, North Carolina. I've got the full lineup of guests, all of which you can see here in this image. And ticket info and all that good stuff is listed right now at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Or you could just go directly to MadMonsterExpo.com, get your tickets there. You also want to check out their schedule of events because in addition to all the stuff you'd expect, like celebrity photo ops and celebrity Q&A panels and all that good stuff, this expo, they're doing a lot of interesting things as far as independent film workshops and haunt workshops and panels, which is right up our alley again and right up our audience's alley with everything we cover at Halloween Daily News. So we're very much looking forward to this event. Mad Monster always throws a great convention. They are just, in our opinion, just the best at what they do, and we look forward to it every year. As you can see, the lineup is stacked with awesome people. Matthew Lillard from Scream, Shawnee Smith from Saw. We've even got Meatloaf. We've got so many people, James Remar, Jeffrey Combs. We got the nun herself, Bonnie Aarons, many, many more. Even the lead singer of a little band you might know called Ice Nine Kills, Spencer Charnas, is going to be there. I'm excited to meet him. I've become a huge fan of his and of their music in the last few years. And they make some really cool, really heavy horror metal. And I can't wait to talk to them about that. By the way, they're also world premiering a film on Saturday night during the convention. It's called The History of Horror and Metal. So again, that sounds right up my alley. You guys know, you regular viewers know, I'm a metalhead and I'm a horror head. So horror and metal, yeah, that sounds right up my alley. And just recently announced, because a few guests had to cancel out, so they've added some from the Halloween franchise, making this kind of a Halloween reunion in some ways. Now, we already had Tom Morga announced. Of course, he played Jason and Roy in Friday the 13th, 5, and then we also got Ken Foree announced, and of course, he's Big Joe Grizzly and Rob Zombie's Halloween, and of course, starred in Dawn of the Dead and Devil's Rejects, so much other awesome stuff. But that's not all from the Halloween franchise. Now we've got the man himself, Nick Castle, added to the lineup, but not just Nick. Will Sandon, young Michael Myers from the 78 film, added to the lineup. And just today, Lisa Loring, who plays the original Wednesday Addams, she had to cancel due to some personal issues. But their replacement is John Michael Graham. You know him as Bob from the original 1978 Halloween. Now, John Michael Graham does not do a ton of conventions. This is a rare appearance for him. He's not out on the circuit doing 5 or 6 cons a year. He did do the 40 Years of Terror event back in 2018, and unfortunately, we weren't able to. We ran out of time and couldn't really talk to him, couldn't meet him at that event. So the fact that he's now coming to this event again, it just keeps getting better by the day. John Michael Graham, I've never even met him. I attended a Q&A where he was on a panel, and we've been in the same room a few times, but I've never actually got to have a one-on-one interaction with him. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And of course, looking forward to seeing people like Nick and Will again. Tom Morga was great when we met him in Pasadena. I interviewed him back in 2018. He's awesome. And just so many other people. Again, people like Spencer and Shawnee that I'm hoping to meet for the very first time. And just some of these other haunt owners and haunt workers. There's going to be makeup effects workshops, haunt workshops. It really sounds cool. It's going to be all the things that Mad Monster Party is, but with an even more emphasis on haunts and Halloween is what it's looking like to me. And so that sounds like we're going to be right at home. And we are actually going to have a table. We're going to have a booth right there on the convention floor all 3 days. So if you're in the area and can make it, come see us. If you're watching this tonight or on replay, come see us. Say, hey, Matt, I watch you on the HDN channel. I watch the Halloween show, or I watch Michael Myers Monday, or I read your stuff. Introduce yourself. I'll be there. My wife's going to be there with me, Sue. We're even going to have our 14-year-old there. And if he's the only one you see at the table, that's because Sue and I are running around shooting footage or shooting photos, which we're going to be a lot throughout the weekend. Like, you probably won't find us at our table half the time. He'll be there manning it for us that half of the time. Otherwise, you're going to see us running around with our cameras, probably sweating a lot, and just getting as much coverage as we can of the whole weekend, because it's going to be awesome and it's going to be crazy, and we're excited to be back. So again, full details you can find at HalloweenDailyNews.com or at MadMonsterExpo.com. And finally, the plan is for next week's episode of the Halloween show. It'll be episode 47 next Friday. The plan is to once again go live just like this, but the difference is we're going to be there. at Mad Monster Expo. So if you saw our live broadcast, our live episode from Scares That Care a few weeks ago, it's going to be something similar to that. The plan will be we'll go live right around 6 p.m. That's the anticipated start time. That's when the doors officially open and the convention begins. So right about that time is when I'm planning on going live from our booth for a special episode of the Halloween show live from Mad Monster Expo. I'll still probably have some pre-recorded segments that will run. We'll still run over the week's headlines and whatever else happens between now and then. Of course, we'll talk a little bit about that. And if that doesn't work out for whatever reason, maybe there's not a good connection or something, then I might try to do something from my phone, something a little less formal from my phone. In any case, though, keep watching this site. Subscribe if you haven't already, and look for notifications. Turn on the notifications and look for word. I'll post stuff in the community tab on YouTube and, of course, on Twitter and the other socials as soon as I know exactly what's going on, if it's going to happen for sure at 6 p.m. But that is the plan right now. Right as doors are open, kick off the con that way with a quick live episode of the Halloween show and to really get into the mood. And then keep watching because I plan to do live reports from inside the convention throughout the weekend. And of course, after we get home, there's going to be tons of coverage we're going to be rolling out. Lots of photos, exclusive videos, hopefully a few interviews, and who knows what else. They do a big costume contest on Saturday night. It's always some impressive cosplay there. If you're into that, you want to be there for that. You might want to compete in that. You might want to compete in that because they give a $500 prize to the first place winner. And also, we'll do a little feature on you and a little interview if you want to after the contest, if you're the winner. So you want to be there for that. But the $500, I mean, feature on HDN, yeah, whatever, $500. That's where it's at. So that's where we're going to be, hitting the road next week. Like I said, it's possible the HK trailer drops on Wednesday while I'm en route, in which case we're just going to have to figure it out. My plan is to do Michael Myers Monday live in 3 nights. This Monday night at 10:31 p.m. We'll talk more in depth about the stuff related to the franchise that I hit on today, and mainly some of the reactions and descriptions of that new trailer that we haven't seen yet that debuted earlier this week at the Vegas CinemaCon. So we're going to be digging into all that stuff Monday night. If you're a Myers fanatic, that's the place to be on Mondays. If you just love all things Halloween like I do, you don't want to miss future episodes of the Halloween show here on Fridays. Again, typically the pre-recorded version drops Friday mornings at 10:30. These live episodes, doing them a little bit later in the evening because, hopefully more of you guys are home and relaxed and at work and able to kick back and enjoy it and get all the week's news in one place. So hopefully you checked out my interview with Al Leong. The full interview dropped this morning. I teased it with a premiere clip last week on last week's live, and the full interview dropped this morning here on the channel. You can find it elsewhere, but we were talking about Carpenter a lot tonight, and a lot of you guys love his films the way I do. You want to watch that interview with Al Leong. He's been in a number of Carpenter films, like Big Trouble in Little China and many others. He's also been in Die Hard, and of course, you remember him as Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He's been in a million things. He's got lots of stories to tell, and we do talk a little bit about working with Mr. Carpenter himself and lots of other good stuff, including celebrating Halloween itself. So check that interview out when you get a chance this weekend. I'd appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw here tonight, give us a like and hit the share button. Let like-minded people know. And if you're watching this on replay and have any thoughts and opinions on any of the stuff that we covered here tonight, I would absolutely love to hear from you. So drop me a line down below in the comments below. Or, of course, you can hit us up with a direct email through our contact page at HalloweenDailyNews.com anytime. And that brings me to the last point, that everything I've talked about tonight, you can find out more about at HalloweenDailyNews.com. All right, guys. I'm going to turn it over to you for just a minute. I cannot believe we are going on almost, what? Gosh, are we coming up on 3 hours? This might be the longest live stream I've ever done, guys. This is crazy. Real quick, though, 5 minutes. You guys, any last-minute questions or comments on the stuff we covered here tonight? And then I'm going to get out of here. David got to wear the Bob glasses with him in his picture with him. That's pretty awesome when he met him at H4O. That's great. Yeah, Ken says Ice Nine is dope. They did a Michael Myers song. Oh, yes, I know. I love that song, Stabbing in the Dark. And trust me, I plan to... I've got a lot to talk to Mr. Charnas about. I look forward to meeting him. Like I said, I'm a fan. I've been listening to their music for the last few years since I first discovered them through, some of you guys, through people I follow in the social world and in the Halloween world, and became aware of them. And, if you don't know, all their songs are based on all your favorite horror movies. He's done a song for all your favorite horror movies. And the Halloween one, the Michael Myers one, is badass. It is heavy as shit, and it is great. And it's called Stabbing in the Dark. Check it out. If you haven't already, you won't regret it. And if you're on Spotify, look for my Michael Myers songs playlist. That's public on there as well. And we got a whole collection of songs about Michael Myers. There's also a public Halloween music playlist, too, for stuff about Michael Myers and beyond. Just Halloween-friendly music. You might want to check that out while you're on there as well. Yes, David, I will definitely see you at Mad Monster. I look forward to it, brother. Yep, Sean's going to be there. Nick will. It's just going to be an awesome party. I can't wait. We're so excited for it. James Remar, nice, says Kenny. Yep, James Remar's going to be there. I've never met him either. I hear he's very cool. Looking forward to meeting him for the first time, hopefully. Michael Lyons says, good evening from Texas. Good evening, sir. Unfortunately, I'm just about to sign off, but welcome nonetheless. Thank you for being here from Texas. Welcome. We covered a lot tonight. I've been yapping since about 8 p.m. over here, and it's almost 11 now. So, yeah, I'm about to lose my voice. If I can't talk at Mad Monster next week or for next Monday, this Monday's live, you'll know it's because of tonight, guys. David going to Days of the Dead tomorrow. Nice, cool. Let me know how it is. Ken says they just dropped a Chucky song. Yes, Ice Nine Kills. They dropped a Chucky song and an American Psycho song recently. Yeah, they got a new album coming out this year. Yeah. They're good. Look them up if you haven't already. If you like metal, you'll like it. Assault and Battery. Yes. Yeah, I saw that. Really cool. And they do great videos, everything. You'll love them if you like metal and you like horror, which I love both. All right, everybody. I think that about does it. All right, everybody. That is our show for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you stuck it out for it. Again, thank you for being here for this live stream. You can look for more videos every day here on the Halloween Daily News channel because there's constant news. We're still rolling out more of our coverage from Scares That Care. That's going to be coming over the next few days, and it's going to wrap up right as we begin our coverage at Mad Monster Expo. The next live stream, unless something really newsworthy happens over the weekend, it will be this Monday for Michael Myers Monday Live, 10:31 p.m. Eastern. And then, like I said, there might be another live stream between Monday and Friday. If, for example, we get a Halloween Kills trailer that I need to get on here and break down with you guys live, or something else equally big like that. Otherwise, though, after that Monday, I'm going to be on the road. You'll still be getting videos and articles on the site and videos here on the channel. But we're going to be on the road en route, getting ready for Mad Monster Expo. And I really hope you'll join me for next Friday's live episode of the Halloween show, live from Mad Monster Expo. And then just watch all weekend, because we're going to be doing some live walkthroughs and just live reports throughout the weekend, and it should be a lot of fun. So I hope you'll join me for all that. As always, thank you guys. Thank you, David. It's a great show. Yeah, thank you for all you guys, to our regular viewers and to all of our new viewers. Thank you so much for being here. We hope that you enjoyed this, and again, please hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any more episodes of the Halloween show, any upcoming live streams, any upcoming product reviews, unboxings, Halloween store walkthroughs. I'm really excited to hit the road to go visit my first Spirit Halloween of the year. That's going to be happening very soon. Still hoping to find that Total Film HK copy that I didn't find a few weeks ago when we were out of town. Might have missed my chance, but I'll be looking for that again, and anything else we find out there. So be on the lookout for all that stuff. All right, guys. Until next time, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you all for watching.